G'day guys, Josh here. Welcome to my guide about Holy Paladins and like kind of an understanding behind a Holy Paladin in Wrath of the Lich King. Now, first of all, we're going to go through a quick notepad of, all the stats that you may need as a Holy Paladin. So, let's go through it right away. We'll get to notepad as well. So, we get to the opening notepad, okay? So, basically, you got main few stats. You got the primary stat of intellect, you got a primary stat of spell power, well, it's not really a primary stat. Then you got haste, then you got crit, so notice critical strike, obviously. And then you got MP5, and then you got Spirit. Spirit is useless for Paladins because Paladins do not have a talent like Mediation or, a talent that allows regen during casting. So Spirit off the menu already. So you've realistically got 5 stats, which is Int, Spell Power, Haste, and Critical Strike, and MP5, okay? So the main thing with Holy Paladins and Wrath of the Lich King is that you have a point where you are never going to go and you're basically spamming Holy Light in the tanks. So the things that you need to balance is going to be Throughput, and then you're going to be against Regeneration, okay? So basically, your ideal situation is bombing Holy Lights on the tank and not running out of mana. Now, you have a full few tools that can help this. So you have a few tools, like one tool in particular is the Libram of Renewal. If you guys do not know what the Libram of Renewal is, it's the one that puts 115 mana off your Holy Lights, which I'm going to say now is about 300 MP5 roughly, okay? Then you've got other ones like, for example, so you have Wisdom of Glyph, the Major Glyph. That takes 5% off. 5% off mana casts. All casts. You also got Holy Light's Forset from Nax, which takes 5%. You'll probably get rid of a bit later. And those are the things that you can use to reduce your mana costs. Okay, so it improves regeneration. The examples of a Throughput. So sorry, let me just add out here as well. Regen. And then Throughput. Now, Throughput is a bit different. Now, Throughput, to increase your Throughput, simply put, you can get the Libram of Holy Lights. There's one of them called Holy Light, which increases spell power. I don't recommend this. This is really bad. You got Seal of Light. And there's very other set bonuses as well that improve Throughput overall. And this is 5% extra healing. Now, the main thing is with the Paladin as well. You want to be bombing Holy Lights not running out of mana, sorry. Caught my tongue. Over the course of the entire fight. That is your entire role as a Holy Paladin, okay? So what you need to be is that even though people got these best in slot lists and stuff like that, you want to be smack bang in the middle where your Throughput regeneration is basically even. The ideal scenario of a Holy Paladin, like in fights, to maximize your Throughput and regeneration, is to be as the boss dies. And as we all know, that isn't possible. So generally, my bias is generally towards regeneration. It is better to have mana to bomb Holy Lights than it is to not have mana and bomb Holy Lights. So it means efficient use of Divine Plea, maybe use it off cooldown. Arcane Torrent, if you're a Blood Elf, gives you 6% mana back and stuff like that as well. So those are the things that you have to balance. Now, let's talk about the stats. Let's go back to up here. What do these provide? So, Intellect provides some Throughput via by Holy Guardian, which gives 20%. I bet I got this wrong, but gives 20% spell power per int. It also gives 10 mana. It also increases Kings and various inter talents as well. So, that 10 mana becomes a bit more. So, be aware of that as well. And also, it introduces Critical Strike, which also is Throughput and is also regen. If you've got Illumination, of course, this Illumination gives 30% of your mana back if you crit. So be aware of that as well. Now, spell power is just pure Throughput. There's no regeneration with spell power. It's just pure Throughput. Haste is also pure Throughput. You can argue that it's semi-regen in a way to get an extra Holy Light off Illumination, but overall it's Throughput. Critical Strike is both Throughput and regen. Regen is via Illumination, and of course MP5 is pure regen. Now, generally what Paladins do is that the main stat is Intellect, because this improves regen via Divine Plea, okay? So Divine Plea is 25% of max mana. So the more mana you have, means more regen for Divine Plea, basically means you can bomb more Holy Lights, so it just increases your MP5 overall. Now, as I said before, you want to find a balance and then shift it to a bias to mana regeneration, because the Throughput of your Holy Lights are probably going to overheal a bit more, so you want to have a lot more mana to be able to be sufficient in doing so. Now, a lot of people put up that BIS gear sets out, and you may like, oh, I need this gear set, I need this gear set, I need that gear set, I need this helmet, I need this gloves. I'm just going to tell you straight up, you do not need that, okay? You just need to make sure that your throughput balances with your regeneration. Now, of course, get greatness and a few other cards as well. Get the renewal Libram and stuff like that. Those are critical. Those are things that you can't replicate on your gear set. What I'm talking about gear set overall is everything outside Librams, Trinkets, and Librams and Trinkets, okay? Because it doesn't matter what you have on your gear set. As long as you get enough regeneration and throughput, you are going to be fine. As long as you can bomb Holy Lights, you are going to be fine. Now, the content at the moment is not really too hard. Like next 10, next 25, you can do it without having the pure BIS. It's very, very forgiving. But later on, it's going to get a bit harder. It's going to get a bit harder where these efficiencies and stuff like that are going to be really, really tested. So that's my quick video on how to, play a Holy Paladin per se. The main thing is to keep in mind is the throughput for regeneration. You want to keep your bias to more regeneration to make sure you can regen the constant Holy Lights you're going to be pumping out. Also, as well, you do want to look at, obviously, getting the Seal of Wisdom glyph. The Holy Power Force set as well from Nax is very, very beneficial to allow you to pump these so much. Make sure you are gemming Int as well, and to a point where you feel comfortable. You can bomb Holy Lights without going but gemming Int is probably the best way, given the fact that Int also scales with King, scales with your talents. You get more mana. More mana means more regen. More mana, or more Int equals more crit. It basically just goes through the roof. And it's a lot better than the secondary stats, per value. Ints, I think, is like 5. Generally, I think they did a spreadsheet ages ago. It was like 5 points for every int, which is humongous. Just remember that as well. It's just a balance between throughput and regeneration. Your gear, other than your Librams and Trinkets, do not matter, okay? So do not stress. If you don't get that gloves with crit on it, you can always find a belt or something else that has crit on it and replace it with that. Probably the things you want to seek the most is everything with sockets on it, because you can put more int in, more int means more mana, and that's pretty much it. I'm not going to present a BIS list that I know everything and stuff like that. You can actually just manage and balance your gear as you want, and you'll still be great as a Holy Paladin. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it. Like, comment, subscribe. Just remember this theory that I've got in the notepad here, and you'll be just fine. You'll just be cruising through Nax, Ulduar, whatever, and now you understand what a Holy Paladin in Wrath of the Lich King is going to be. Is just a balance between throughput and generation for yourself. Have a great day, guys.